Hi, welcome to Story Time with Gigi. I'm so glad you're here today. Today's story is More Bears by Ken Nesbitt. Today's story is from my friend Sophia. Hi, Sophie. Thanks for the book. Once upon a time, there was a story. This story was a lovely story with absolutely no bears in it. Not a single bear anywhere. Then one day, more bears. What? Who said that? The author of the story looked around the room, wondering where those voices had come from. Were those voices of children shouting? Then he went back to writing. And as I was saying, this story had absolutely no bears at all. The author was very certain about this. More bears! The author tried very, very hard to ignore the children who thought the story ought to have. What did they think it should have? More bears! Fine. This story had a bear. It was a cute little baby bear strolling through the book looking for... There's the bear. More bears! Now hold on a second. The author of the story knew exactly how many bears it should have. And the author insisted there should only be more bears. 2 bears. There. Happy now? An adorable, cuddly, wuddly little baby bear named Mr. Fluffy and his mama bear, Stella, who always wore a yellow hat. Now it happened that Stella and Mr. Fluffy, like all bears, were especially fond of more bears! More bears, of course. The author was just thinking that. The author was thinking that just to keep everybody happy, this story should have a papa bear, whose name, by the way, was Captain Picklehead, and a bear named Uncle Sheldon, who was bald and loved to play the ukulele. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. This is silly. More bears! Stop that! How many bears do you want this story to have? Do you really want to hear about Bobcat Sam, the bear who rode a pony, and Admiral Haversham, the English dancing bear, and an excellent Steve, the bear who wanted to surf? You do? Wow. Well, why didn't you say so? In that case, the author suddenly decided what this story really needed was more bears! Yes, more bears. So the author added Astronaut Bear, who, by the way, was Bulgarian and always kept a hamster in his pocket, just in case. And then the author put in 3 more bears, named Lester, Chester, Esther, and Floyd. Wait, that's 4. Oh well, that's okay, because after all, the story really needs more bears! It needed a bear named Lucky Eddie, who juggled carrots, and a bear named Elbow, who wasn't very smart and always wore his underpants outside his regular pants, and a bear named 123, which even the author thought was a strange name for a bear. And since this probably wasn't enough bears, the author added even more bears! The author added 6 bears on a tiny pink bicycle, 2 bears reading comic books, 1 bear flying across the page in a cape and laser hosing, 3 more bears swinging through the trees on vines, a bear in a yellow submarine, several bears making cupcakes, an entire team of firefighting bears running across the page with hoses, ladders, and party balloons. Oh my goodness, that was a lot. There were bears hanging from the top of the page, bears sleeping in the corners, and bears standing on top of bears. There were so many bears in the story that they couldn't all fit on the page. It was so crowded, too crowded, so crowded that some bears started pushing other bears off the page and arguing, which made the author grumpy. And when the author gets grumpy, they start rewriting, changing the story. In fact, the author was so grumpy, he told the bears to leave, and they did. After all, this was the author's story. They walked off the page, they rode off the page, they swung, surfed, danced, climbed, ran, even somersaulted off the page. There they go. Bye, bears. At last, the bears were gone, and the author smiled. Finally, the author had a story with no bears in it. A lovely story with not a single bear anywhere. Just the way the author wanted it. Because you see, the author was quite certain that this story should have absolutely more chickens! Oh my goodness! That was so fun. I don't know about you. I don't usually ask for more bears. I ask for more cowbell. What do you usually ask for more of? I want to hear in the comments below. Ask a grown-up to tell me, and also ask them to tell me what your favorite book is so I can read it for you here at Story Time with Gigi. And make sure they hit subscribe so you never miss a Story Time with Gigi. And until next time, as my friend Les Brown would say, shoot for the moon. Because if you miss, at least you'll land amongst the stars. Bye!